Right, okie dokie. So let's talk about cutting out these relief lines. So I'm going to be using a coping saw, but just as a gentle reminder, if I can ask you, when you're not using your saws, please can they go in the middle of your table, because then they are safe and we know they're not going to fall off on the edge or catch our hands on them, etc. So I have got my relief lines here that I've drawn in red, make it really crystal clear. That's what I want to cut. I have my coping saw, which you can see the blade of here. Couple things, we are not using the blade of the coping saw to bounce on the edge of our acrylic. If you are seen to be doing that, you will be asked to leave because that can cause it to break. What we're using it for is to cut those lines going straight down. So I've positioned the acrylic in the vise so it is facing up. So all I have to do is cut downwards, means we'll be more accurate. It's also about 1.5 centimeters or 15 millimeters above the edge of the vise. This is so that it has less wobble. If you have it too high in the vise, it will wobble and then it will likely to snap. So what we're going to do to start off, we're going to create a notch in the acrylic, and to do that we're going to place our blade over that red line that we want to cut first. In fact, let me just angle you a little bit more this way. There we go. So I've placed the blade over that red line, and I'm just going to bring the saw back nice and slowly in that one spot. So I've made a tiny little notch. I'm going to do that once more, 2, and then once more again, 3. Now the reason I've done that is because this little notch that I've made, my fingernail can just about go through it. That now means that when I come to cut out my line, my blade knows exactly where it's going. It's not wobbling. It's not going to go to the left. It's not going to go to the right. It's going to go straight down. Then to start sawing, I'm going to use my reciprocating motion. So what that means is I'm going to bring the saw back and forwards, back and forwards. Go slow, guys. It's not a race. If you finish first, that's great, but it just means that you're going to be hanging around for other people. So don't rush it, thinking that you can move straight on to the next task. And then that is my first little relief line cut out. So I've already cut some of the others so you can see what it's going to be looking like, but I'm going to move now on to the next one here. So pop it back in a vise so it's about 1.5 centimeters upwards, maybe a little bit lower this time because it did move a bit. There we go. And I've also treated myself to a brand new saw because that one was a little bit too squeaky for me. Let's move ourselves in a better position. There we are. So I'm going to be cutting this line in the middle. Exact same process. Put the blade over the line I want to cut, bring it back. Oh, maybe it's the acrylic. 3 times, 2 and 3. There you go. Now I've got that little notch. I can keep going in my nice reciprocating motion, going to the edge of the pencil line, so the edge of my design. Next one. So for my next one, the line is going into the vise. So I'll see if I can raise it ever so slightly. We might get away with that. Let's just do a little test. Way too wobbly. So if I start sawing that, it's going to crack right across. So what I'm going to have to do is cut half of it first. So I'll put it back in the vise. There we go. So I'm just going to cut this part first, this half here, but it's going at an angle. And if I'm cutting at an angle, I'm more likely to snap my blade or lose accuracy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to position my acrylic so that the line I'm cutting is going straight down, okay? That way, way more accurate. You'll have better control over your work, and you always want the blade to be going in a downwards motion rather than sideways. So same again, 3 notches, 1, 2, 3. There you go. Up to the vise, bring it upwards. So I'm safe to bring it upwards now because although it's still going to wobble, I'm cutting from this point. So it's more secure because it's closer to the edge of the vise. Slot the blade in. There we go. So you can see it's not really moving that much. There you go. So that's what you do for those longer lines. Last one. This little one here. Now, because this is cut diagonally, I've got to be extra careful because that is likely to go. Let's lower it a little bit more. There's also a relief line here that's been cut. So when I cut this straight one, it looks like I've got a piece of acrylic that's going to come away. That's a good thing. Right. There we go. And take it out. Right, okie dokie. So this is the piece that I've cut. I've got my 2 relief lines here. They're not quite joining up. Not quite joining up there. So I need to go a little bit deeper. I'm not just going to snap it because it's going to leave me with a sharp point. So even though it's only a small amount, I am putting it back in the vise because we want to create a keyring of a high quality, not a mess. There you go. I know some of you probably think that wasn't worth it, but I personally do. And there we go. Those are my relief lines cut out. I've just got the bottom row to do now, these little ones. And then I can get to actually shaping my key ring. So there we go. Why not give it a go?